Hello folks, this is John again, and today a very fun challenge, Royal Blood. So this was requested a couple of times, and I'm glad it was. I'm starting to quite like that band actually. So the challenge with this one's quite interesting. They only have a bass player and a drummer. And the bass player pretty much does everything. He plays the bass, and at the same time, with the same instruments, he also plays rhythm guitars. He accommodates for the lack of a full band with just one instrument right then and there, even live. So reading through one or the other interview and checking out some of the live performances, yeah, you can kind of guess pretty well what's going on there. He must be using some kind of signal splitting and then pitch shifting so that one signal just goes into the bass amp, and there you have the bass and the rumble, and then the other signal is getting pitch shifted up one octave, and that goes to a guitar amp. And I find for their sound, both the bass tracks as well as the guitar tracks add pretty much 50-50 to everything. And this was again one of those tones that I couldn't really get too close to, but the vibe is still there. Simply because this is mid-gained and not high gain. A lot of distortion usually masks a lot of what the pickups do. But this not being the case here, the pickups have much more of an impact on the sound, and therefore it's tougher. And this intro has gone on far enough. For starters, I just want to walk you through the bass tone right now. This is pretty much exactly the tone that I dialed in my Gnarly Bass tutorial with TH3. The compressor, here the amp pack, SVT, you can see the settings. This gives us a very gnarly and girthy distortion, and then the 1x15 cab with the 52 mic, just center position. And the EQ is really just here to lower the volume because there's no additional volume adjustment knob here. And this is what the tone sounds like with just TH3. Yeah, and the rest in here is just to enhance some stuff like the low end. And then some low end compression. Then some EQ. Then taking out some resonances. And then some compression. Well, the compressor in here is not really all that necessary because I just use this to get a bit more punchy pick attack when there's some more rhythmic staccato stuff going on. Not really the case here. And then after that, compressor limiter to catch the high pick attack peaks that the compressor produces. So that gives us a very gnarly bass sound, and that really adds a lot of girth to the whole experience. And now, yeah, the sort of guitar tracks. So here I recorded those also with the bass guitar, all three tracks with the bridge pickup, and the EQ is flat. And those two tracks I pitch shifted up an octave. But I had to use the algorithm here in Studio One because that gave me the least amount of mess. And here's what they sound like right now. Yeah, you see it's still not quite stable with that pitch shifting. I don't like pitch shifting the I tracks very much. Now let's get to the guitar tone. So this is tricky because they use amps that are not even in production anymore. And they are surely not here in TH3. But listening to this sound, I kind of figured, yeah, one or the other amp comes to mind, and cab, that could work, but no, it did not at all. So I had to fiddle around a lot. I noticed the Randall XTC gives me an alright basis. And let's switch to the Heavy 51 cab, because their tone kind of reminded me a little bit of Audioslave in Rage Against the Machine. It has also that very rockish feel to it. And fiddling around with a lot of cabs, I find this kind of gets me in the ballpark. Let's switch to the 87 mic. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Yeah, still needs a little bit of work. First of all, some mic placement. When we move it to the left, you'll notice there's also the sweet spot, like on the modern cap, where this fizzy resonance from the center area kind of goes down, but then the further you go, another fizzy resonance comes in. And I want to find that sweet spot where both of those are pretty much at the lowest. Pretty much there. And then let's boost presence and treble to get some presence back again. I also want to turn on the low pass filter in here to get that very high-end brittly stuff away. Okay, and right away we can already EQ some stuff. There are a few resonances I want to get out right away. Let's see what we have here. There's something at this 3K area again. And there's something in that lower range here. Okay, and then there's still something up here again. Okay, let's put it in the mix, see what we got. Yeah, it's alright, it's alright. Let's check out the other part here. Sort of. Let's take the density down in here. It sounds a little bit too muddy at this point. Okay, and I'm noticing there's a little bit of too papery mid-range. And that papery mid-range is somewhere in the 1 to 2K area, usually. Okay, taking that out clears it up a little bit, but we lose some mid-range presence and it doesn't sit so well in the mix, so let's compensate here with this EQ. Yeah, I think this kind of gets us in the ballpark. Again, this is not as close to their sound as I would like, but that's just the nature of not having enough distortion to mask a lot of the stuff going on. So we kind of have to set our goal to get the vibe instead of really replicating the sound as closely as possible. If you really want to get that kind of sound, I would not recommend pitch shifting the bass guitar. It sounds nasty. You have to get a very good pitch shifter to pull that off, and nothing in my repertoire really does it right. There's always some mess going on, some goggly stuff, some weird artifacts. I would rather go for normal guitar with fat strings and more rockish pickups than modern high output pickups. So let's go through the tones again. Bass guitar, very important. Get a gnarly bass tone. Here you'll find a link in the description for that bass tone tutorial. And then for the guitars, the Randall XTC with the treble and presence all the way up, density down so it doesn't get so muddy. The PV51 cap with the 87 mic, Fat 87. Put it in that sweet spot between the center and outer region. And then taking care of some resonances again. And a little bit of EQ to shape it so it sits well in the mix, and that's it. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on what you want me to do in the future. I'll be sure to check it out at least. And I shall see you next time.